they all say.
Yeah. I'm sure they do.
Dennis Tiefenthaler.
Dennis Tiefenthaler. Dennis Tiefenthaler was being called one of the greatest high school athletes in South Dakota history, and that was after his sophomore year. Growing up in Armour, he was exceptional in 4 different sports. A pitcher and infielder for his father's baseball team, Armour won 2 state titles during his career. He won 6 individual state track championships, setting a state record in the 440-yard dash and leading Armour to a pair of state team titles. On the gridiron, he was 3 times All-State, playing quarterback and defensive back for the Packers. Then in basketball, he was twice All-State, helping his team win 64 consecutive games and a pair of state B championships. Tiefenthaler attended Uvapai Junior College in Arizona, where he was an All-American baseball player and a Major League Baseball draft pick not once, but twice, chosen by the Toronto Blue Jays in 1980 and the Baltimore Orioles in 1982. When his playing career ended, his influence on the diamond was just beginning. He coached his daughter's junior Olympic softball team to a national title. And he and his son co-wrote a book on baseball hitting, and they have developed revolutionary pitch recognition technology for players worldwide. He now joins his brother Jeff, who was enshrined in the South Dakota Sports Hall of Fame 1 year ago.
First, need to thank my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. Also need to thank Sam Holderby and the committee. And we need to congratulate all the other inductees. What a great class. You know, someone once said you've got to act like you've been there before. So here I go. Last year, my brother Jeff said that it was our father who got us started pretty early in life, and he was right about that. But I think he would also agree with me that it was our mother who kept us going. You know, Dad never let us win, not one time that I can ever remember. Although he let us come close every time, I think that was his genius. Mom's genius was picking us up, telling us to stick with him, boys. One of these days you're going to get him. She was right about that. That was a great day. So if anybody ever asked us if we wanted to win more than we hated to lose, we picked winning every time. So thank you to Mom and Dad for instilling that in us. Need to thank those that are here for me tonight. My beautiful wife, Patty. Thank you, Patty. My brothers, Jeff and his wife, Brenda, Kenny J and Debbie, and Patrick and Pam. My youngest son, Jared, and his 2 children, Bella and Benny, 2 of my grandchildren. My friend, Robbie Morrow, one of my football coaches, Rick Clark, and of course, Pernell Glanzer. You know, Pernell, it's been almost 50 years now since you wrote A Touch of Class. And I just want you to know from me, that was master class, sir. Sounds like a great book title, to be honest with you. Need to thank the rest of my coaches, from my first, who was my father, to my last, who was World Series manager Joe Madden, and everyone in between. Guys like Denny Weaver, and Gary Sarda, Lee Weber, Leon Bloom, Dave Kroll. Dave, thank you for being here tonight. And all of my baseball coaches, all of you guys so passionate about your sport. I need to thank the sports writers. You guys seem to always be there for me. And my brothers still think to this day that I may have orchestrated some of that attention. Mike, help me out with that, would you? I would certainly appreciate that. And to Dean Minder, John Egan, Tom Maxwell, Bill Antonin, and Ron Wood, fellas, rest in peace. You were certainly great men and credits to your profession. I need to thank the town and the people of Armour. You know, I still get goosebumps when I get close to Armour and I see the water tower and the baseball field. It just lets me know that I'm home. So thank you to Armour. You know, last year, Jeff asked you what motivated you. And I kind of like to ask you what humbles you. In the Bible, it says God favors the humble. And I'm just not sure that humility was running around much in Armour back in the 70s. And I learned at a pretty young age that as a competitive athlete, you might need to experience humility in silence. Now, I got a lot of stories to back that up, but I only have time for one. I was in my Muhammad Ali phase, and my best friend Dan Friedel must have thought he was Joe Frazier, because he knocked me down in my living room when we were just kids. And my first thought was, man, this is a bad idea. And my second thought was, but I can outrun this guy. I can outthrow him. This set off a great competition between the two of us back then, Dan, that was pretty special. And to be honest with you, I just wouldn't have been the competitor I was without you. Teammates are supposed to make you better, and you certainly did that for us at Armor. So thank you to Dan. Speaking of teammates, we weren't just teammates. We were a family. And imagine the odds of us all coming together at that moment in history to make history in South Dakota, and we did that. I need to thank my brother Jeff. Jeff was working hard to get his playing time in back in the day, and it wasn't easy. And to see you go to college and become an All-American in 2 sports was pretty special. But to see you get inducted into this Hall of Fame last year was a pretty gratifying moment for your older brother, and a little bit of a humbling one too. So thank you to Jeff. Wouldn't you guys just love to do it all over again? I know that I would. It's been said here tonight that I might be one of the greatest athletes to ever come out of this state. Man, that is such a big statement, right? And a humbling one for sure, considering all of those who humbled me. Guys like my cousin Ronnie Nelson, Mike Friedel, Dave Fuller, Barry Glanzer, Tom McFarland, Brian Binder, Doug Herman, Jeff Turninghardt, the Gebhardt brothers, Julie Klein. Whoever beat Julie? Nobody. The list just goes on. What do you do when someone covers you up so much as an athlete that you're not bigger, stronger, or faster? It happened to me. Well, I really believe, right, that that's when your heart gets tested. That one analytic that can never be measured. It can either take you to your greatest performance ever, or it can just sit you on the sidelines and watch you throw hot dogs at the guy who humbled you. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, that could be my claim to fame here tonight. I might be the only one in this hall that that's ever happened to. But I shall digress and say that Proverbs 15:33 says that humility comes before honor, and that is certainly true here tonight. I need to do a grandpa thing. Bella, Benny, come on out here. Hurry up. Come on. Guys, this is the next generation of Tiefenthalers getting it done in the great state of South Dakota. They live out in Spearfish. I just want to introduce you to the stage so if they ever get up here again, they won't have to act like they've been here before. Thank you so much. May God bless everyone.